Yo, what's good, guys? Right now, me and Mustafa, we're just chilling in the middle of Hyde Park. We're gonna just yap about random stuff. But let me show you like the settings right now, because there's literally no tables. Everything's basically closed. We're forced to just sit down in like some random ass place in
Yo,
Hyde Park. But yeah, for the background, you got Hilton Hotel back there. Um, you got like some random roads there. We're literally like in the middle, sitting down in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, go on.
bro, I can actually hear V12 right now.
Yeah,
Anyways, bro, pretty much, if you guys don't know what we do, we have an agency where we handle everything info related. So pretty much these people that you see where they sell products online, like these info products, coaching, consulting, courses, all that jazz. Pretty much we handle everything in terms of the back ends and like the operations. We've been in the game for quite some time, so we obviously know what we're talking about. But I don't want to sound like too overconfident and gay because last week was my birthday.
Yeah, but right now, me and him just came out to work because one of the most important things we feel like when you're working with someone is making sure you meet up as much as possible. Obviously, we don't live together yet, but yeah, it's important that you guys actually meet up so you can bounce ideas off each other. You guys actually hold each other accountable and actually just work on the business together. So meeting up has been really important for us. Always make sure we do at least like 3, 4 times a week.
One thing that's helped us make a ton more money, and I'm not saying that we're anybody that's like successful, we're anybody that's like actually at the point that we want to be at, but in terms of like our experience, obviously we can speak only in terms of our experience. We have learned that in person and everything in person related is just like the best. So if you yourself you work anything to do with like you have like an agency, you work with people, work with salespeople, anything, the best thing that you can do for yourself is in person. Now what's helped us so much is building culture. I can yap about culture and building culture for a good like 15 hours if I'm gonna be honest, but we ain't got 15 hours. We're sitting in the middle of a park right now on the floor.
Yeah, sorry about that. We just had like a client we had to obviously send a voice note to. But like the smallest things like such as like posting your wins or even like eating together, going on trips together, that is the most culture building thing you can do of all time. Because you get to spend time together working on same things simultaneously and it actually builds something where people are bought into your vision. And when you have people bought into your vision, bro, like everyone's gonna work so much harder and they're gonna work so much more like, because everyone's selfish, right? Everyone's naturally selfish. I'm selfish, Miss was selfish. We all want the best for ourselves. If you find a way where you're able to work together and actually buy people into achieving their own dreams, then you're able to get people working as hard as possible. I know I cut them a bright screensaver. I don't even know what you call it. Turned on. Yeah, when you have people bought into your vision and they're working as hard as possible, you're gonna reap so much reward with your business because everyone's working 100%. When everyone's working 100%, bro, you're gonna be making so much more. And it's like momentum's linked to culture. If everyone's working hard, if everyone's locked in, bro, like the whole culture aspect of things, if anyone's slacking, they're gonna feel like, okay, I have to lock in. Everyone else is locked in.
I would say even like, let me scooch over. I think even like the smallest things that you don't realize that actually push the business forward is something as small as, let's say you have a Discord channel with the people that you work with in like, let's say you have an agency, let's say you have a sales team, all that kind of stuff. The smallest things that you might not realize that actually help and build that culture with that team. For example, having like a chat where you just post wins or you just post like, let's say for example, fitness. Fitness, I'm not gonna lie to you, is probably the second most important thing for me personally.
$100.
And I feel like everybody around us, fitness is probably the second most important thing. The gym, going on runs, all that kind of stuff. So when you guys hold each other accountable, now, while not just only business sided, but keeping things outside of business in terms of like, being fit, going to the gym and holding each other accountable, that's definitely helped us like build culture with, for example, the people that we work with in our sales team, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because when you're in shape, right, being in shape takes discipline. And one thing that I believe is every single discipline counts. So like to kind of explain, like making your bed, going to the gym, eating clean, working on your business, like every small thing that you might be lazy in will slowly seep into other things. So if you don't make your bed in the morning and then you eat like an unhealthy snack in the morning as well, those two things are small, like eating a snack, not making your bed in the morning. If you keep stacking small losses and you're leaking discipline, eventually if you can't do the small things, how can you do big things such as sitting there for 2 hours straight, trenching away working on your
100%.
business?
So
So
what do you feel like's worked for you best in terms of like building small bits of discipline?
I would say I've heard this from guys like Pierre, guys like what's his name?
So yeah.
Sue, and what's that? What Simplify podcast you? Scott Hilsey. They all say when you wake up, like the second you wake up and you get like a small win, like the
Also,
first.
like the second you wake up pretty much determines
Yeah,
the rest of your day.
that's what I was trying to say. So if you wake up and you straight away, I don't know, you start gooning or you eat like some goy slop or like you press the snooze button, you sleep for an extra hour, that's gonna like what do you call it? Domino effect into the rest of your day. If you wake up, you get straight to like a cold shower, you eat like some good grub, you go on a run or you read, like you do something good at the start of the day, very first thing, that's going to domino effect into the rest of your day, and the rest of your day is going to be way more productive. Because your brain works in a way where if you slack off once, it's like an excuse like, oh, I've already failed today. I've already failed this day. Let me continue to do more things because, you know, there's no point. That's how your brain thinks. When you're like, when you're keeping a streak, right? The science behind keeping a streak is your brain wants to keep that thing alive. So if you wake up, you do something good, your brain's going to want to not break that streak, if that makes sense.
I'll give you an example. Just going back on what he said before. Just like me being, so for example, I handle everything in terms of sales, the setting, the closers, hire, fire, all that kind of stuff. I'm the sales manager. And what I've realized is that if there are closers under me, for example, and I'm the one obviously like who is hiring and firing, I'm training these people as well. If I'm slacking, it's gonna domino effect into these other people because they can feel like they can slack as well. Because if
100%.
I'm the one training them and I'm the one helping them and I'm giving them these instructions to better them and actually, you know, get them to that position where, you know, they're closing more and all these other kind of stuff as a sales manager, it's gonna domino effect to the point where if I'm doing something bad or I'm slacking off, it's gonna feel perfectly fine for them to slack off as well, you know?
100%. You got to lead by example. Like if Mustafa here was fat, obese, and he's trying to teach people how to get fit, no one's gonna take him seriously. You really have to lead by example. Like let me put this in your perspective, right? You have like a shredded guy like Arnold Schwarzer N-word. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't.
Well, his name's like the name, bro. It's not the
Yeah, but him versus like a fat obese guy. Who are you gonna go for like fitness training? Obviously Arnold. So
lead by example.
you got to lead by example, 100%.
So like, what do you feel like? What do you feel like is the best form of leading by example? So like, what do you feel like is the best thing someone can do who's in a leading position to actually help lead by example? What's like the best thing you'd say?
Well, I guess like if you want people to, for example, like wake up, clock in early.
Yeah.
So you have a sales team, you have closers, you want them to start hopping on calls at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
You have to do that as well. You have to be up at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
working on the business, or up at 7 a.m. You got to be up earlier.
Yeah.
So that when you're asking them, okay, can you wake up at this time to do X, Y, Z? They see, okay, this guy who's telling me to do this is doing it himself.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're going to be like, okay, cool. There's like, you have some sort of authority where people, you know, listen to you. So I want to ask you this, right? What do you do when you face moments where, because I face this myself, where you face moments where you're getting negative thoughts and you're feeling doubt. Because that happens to everyone, no matter where you are in business.
I feel like a lot of people feel like there's some sort of ritual, and I feel like some people believe that there's a way to like automatically get rid of it. The truth is, you're going to wake up no matter what. Human psychology, you wake up with a negative state of mind already, right? The only thing you can do really and truly is have the smallest place throughout your day that genuinely will end up making a big difference. And I'll give you an example right now. There are obviously days, like he said, there are obviously days where like I'm gonna feel negative, you're gonna feel negative. Maybe even after a win, you might have like that high for a bit, but you're still like your brain will always come back to find a way to be negative. The way the brain works is it will always find a way to make some sort of excuse. It will try to find a way to make itself feel bad for itself, if that's kind of how you word it. It will always try to find a way to be negative, right? That's just how the brain works.
It's always scanning for danger.
It's always scanning for danger, and it's always scanning for some way to be negative and just leave you in a reactive state of mind. Now, for me personally, whenever that happens to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Serious piece of advice is I would say just go on a walk or just sit with yourself for 10-15 minutes. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Me myself, like you probably know as well. Like, I go on a lot walks a lot. If you can even just sit for yourself and 10-15 minutes and zoom out. The biggest thing that I do is that when I'm in a negative state of mind, I just zoom out for a second. I think to myself, okay, what can I currently do in this very moment? What can I do in this very, very second right now that's gonna get me, that's gonna push the business forward? Let's say this is business related. What can I do in this very, very moment, this very second right now to push the business forward? Because I always try to forget anything that is uncontrollable factor, anything that I physically can't control or something that's out of my control. You really have to try your hardest to think from a different perspective, right? I'll give you an example. Let's say something that's completely out of your control. Let's say a client decided to just drop you for no reason, right? Maybe there was realistically something wrong with the process that you had, but you have to truly think to yourself, okay, me sitting down here sulking and crying to myself like a little gay boy, is this helping me whatsoever? No, like the truth is it's not helping
It's
you.
not helping.
You know? So it's like you have to think to yourself, in this very second, in this very moment, what can I physically do? What plays can I make throughout my day that's going to push the business forward instead of sulking like a little gay boy? Like that's just as simple as it is. Me myself, I always think in the very, very minute and the very second, like what can I do right now? Not what can I do tomorrow? What can I do after tomorrow? You want to delay things? What can I do in this very second right now that's going to push the business forward and that's going to, you know, get me out of this reactive state of mind? So I'm now in a proactive state of mind, if that makes sense.
I would say one thing linking to what Mustafa said. I don't know what happened to him, but But
My legs.
one thing linked to what Mustafa said is I like this thing like don't look back, you're not going that way, right? You cannot control anything that happens in the past. What happens, happens, right? Us sitting down in this park has happened. We can't change, we can't do anything to change that. The future is the future is built by what you do right now. Right? If I threw this phone at Mustafa's head and he starts bleeding, that's gonna affect the future, right? That's some random ass example, but if I like, I don't know, swipe Mustafa, he falls down. I've done a present action by swiping his leg, and him falling down is a future action. So all you really have is the present, right? The future doesn't exist, the past doesn't exist. The present is all you have. So you like anything in the past is irrelevant because your brain likes tying your identity to the past. So let's say you've always been like a gooner, you're always been like a fat guy, you always eat too much fast food, too much donuts, too much chocolates. Then
Bro, he's talking about himself.
this guy's always leading my example, but if you're always been that guy who eats so much that you're fat, you're literally a fat ass, then anytime you try go on a diet or anytime you try go to the gym, your brain's gonna pull up past data from before, literally saying like, okay, you're literally a fat ass, like you've always been eating junk food in the past, you've never gone to the gym, you're never stuck with it, you've only gone for 2 days and then you quit. So anytime you try do it again, your brain's very predictive, right? It's gonna use parts. So like imagine every action you do is a piece of data your brain gains, right? That's why starting anything new, people quit very, very early because they don't have a past history of them doing that thing. So you have to obviously get past the initial stages where your brain's telling you, you know, you're literally doing something that's not even possible. And then once you build that one piece of evidence where your brain sees, okay, cool, you've actually stuck to the gym for a month for the first ever time, it uses that and it's like, anytime you want to say, I want to go for another month, it's going to use that same evidence, be like, okay, this guy's done it for a month before, he can do it for another month. And that's why in online money as well, when me and Musa made our first ever, how much was it at? Me, it really made us like believe that it was real. Like our first.
I think it was like our first K, maybe.
First K, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, so Mustafa had to take a random call, so I don't know where this last left off. But I remember we were speaking about when we made our first bit of bread off a offer of one of our first
It
creators.
was the first creator.
First
One.
creator.
No, second one. Oh, first one dropped
First
us.
one
We got dropped the first one.
we got dropped, but yeah. That first bit of money we made, it was proof for us like we made money online, right? We didn't own anything physical. We delivered a service and made bread off that. And that was enough proof of concept for our brain to be like, okay, you've done it once, do it again. And it was that first bit of money we made that proved to our brain, like, okay, you've done it once, you do it again, you do it again, and do it again. And since then, that's what's been able to, you know, push us forward because we know it's real now. We like online money before our first creator, we didn't make a single penny off online money. And obviously, you don't believe it's real until you physically experience something. That's why when you have experiences of you know, being in like a nice car, a nice penthouse, a nice city, your brain actually sees it as something tangible. Like, that's like when you see all these YouTube videos where, you know, guys are in like Lamborghinis, penthouses, etc.
Loki kind of gay, some of them though.
Yeah, it's kind of gay, some of them, but it doesn't really feel as real as it were to if you know, experience it in real life.
Anyways, let's wrap this up, bro.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Any final words?
Follow my YouTube, follow my. You put it down in below. You better, cause I'm in this video. You better put it down
I'll
below.
put it down. I'll put it down.
Let me actually give final words though. Anyways, yeah, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. This is probably gonna go on Steam's channel, so obviously subscribe to my YouTube down below, my Instagram, whatever. But yeah, boys, remember, if you have something that you're working on right now, there is one small catalyst that can genuinely change your life, and we can say that there has definitely been a catalyst that has completely changed our life from the past 6 months. So I'm kind of yapping because I'm hella tired and we're sitting in the middle of a park right now. Genuinely,
Let me actually show you the settings.
bro, this is actually crazy. Like nobody's here. But yeah, we're gonna cut it from here. And yeah, make sure to have a good one, lads.
If you guys are interested in working with us, with our agency, I'll put the link in the description. Obviously get in touch with me, whatever. But if you want to run like a high ticket, an info product or anything, fill out the form below, get in touch. But yeah, that's final words from me.
Oh, my leg.
Subscribe, like the video. This guy's legs are finished, but yeah, it's pretty raw. I don't know.
Couch, bro.
That's why you don't cry. He's crouching the whole video. I don't know why. I told this guy to sit down, but yeah, I'll end it here.